Right then, welcome back, Manchester United, DOS, Brighton, nil point. Didn't think it was going to end like that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. At half time, thinking we're actually way worse in the second half usually. Didn't think we would manage to pull it out of the bag like that, but we did in the end. Finally, I think the red card had a lot to do with that. To be honest with you, otherwise I don't think we would have prevailed. I heard someone on the watch along. I tuned into the watch along as I was leaving the ground. It was a couple of minutes behind, I think. And I was listening to the watch along, and I think Jordan said, "We've accidentally won, and I'm going to steal it because I think we accidentally won the game." A few things to note. I thought Lindelof looked pretty good. I still think Delo's a better option on the ball than Wan-Bissaka, but I don't think he's the answer. What else did I think? I think McTominay and Fred just frustrate more than they impress. I thought Elanga was okay. Didn't really pull up any trees. Sancho looked good again. When he nutmegged the fullback, I thought, oh my God, you've got to go score here now, aren't you? Oh my days. Yeah. Shaw was shit. Someone's just had opinions on Shaw today. Shaw was shit. I still find, even though we kept a clean sheet, you've got to give the defence a little bit of credit to that. But I still found a lot of our defensive actions baffling. Do you know what? Credit where it's due. You pulled out a 2-0 home win against an opponent that's extremely tricky. And you kept a clean sheet. You got to take that. And then focus on getting 3 points on Sunday. We're now, I think, fourth in the old table. We played a game more than Chelsea, but we're only 4 points off them. I think we pick up another 3 points at the weekend. Chelsea are playing Crystal Palace. That should be 3 points for them. Should be. But we could start closing ground on them. We've played equal amount of games now of West Ham. We're 2 points ahead of them. Arsenal have been in pretty good form of late, and I think, Michael says give Maguire his credit. For what? What did you think he did that he deserved credit for? Oh yeah, someone De Gea, bloody hell. Right. David De Gea shown the full spectrum of his Manchester United career today, didn't he? He did wonder saves and mind-bogglingly shit distribution. And it's baffling to me how we have such a dichotomy in one player. First half was boring. I mean, it's very obviously that Brighton are a well-drilled side. And I enjoyed Ronaldo went. My dad didn't come with us tonight. He has work early in the midweek, so he misses a lot of midweek games. So I took Ronaldo with us. Obviously, Ronaldo plays for us, and we talk tactics all day at work. So me and Ronnie was having a bit of a chat throughout the game, just talking about the systematic sort of wide pressing traps that they have, how they deal with them, all that sort of stuff. And I think they're a tactically fascinating side, Brighton. And I think Potter's a tactically fascinating manager. And there's just some stuff that they're doing to a level better than us. And I'm still not seeing United be drilled. The way we are out of possession looks sloppy a little bit. Does that make sense? The way we are in our build-up is like an afterthought. I think sometimes when you're seeing De Gea doesn't trust himself anymore. You're seeing defenders play balls to someone like a Bruno. He's got his back to a defender and he's marked. But you can receive a ball under pressure. No one's ever saying that you can never receive a ball when someone's behind you. You can always receive a ball when there's pressure on you. But can you can you play that pass to the right foot with the right weight at the right time and see what's going to happen with that? And De Gea won't play those balls. His distribution's so ordinary, so average, that if it's not someone in 20 yards of space, and guess what, mate? There's just no one in 20 yards of space anymore. If it's not someone in 20 yards of space, he can't pass it, and he's got to roll it out to the nearest defender. I think there's going to be a massive summer in for us. But the problem is, I just spoke to someone on the way home. And I said, when I look at this United side at the moment, and I look at our ownership and I look at the need that we've got, if we came into top 4 this season, we would be fourth. Sorry, if we came 4th this season, it would be the 3rd consecutive year that we'd been in the Champions League qualification, which is the first time that we'd have done that. We've done it twice before, once with Europa qualification, but we've never done consecutive top 4 finishes for 3 years, right? That is tangible, provable progress, right? Although it doesn't feel like it, factually is. And you would think us as fans go, right, let's get going with this then. But you can't get excited because you know that this ownership isn't going to do that. You know that this ownership isn't going to match the ambition of us as fans or even as some of the players. Wayne Rooney told you in his documentary. He saw what was happening. A lot of criticism for Shaw coming in the comments. I mean, yeah, your main jobs as a fullback are to A, stop the cross, and B, provide options in the final third usually. Not asking you to create from fullback. It's a nice to have rather than a must have. Your must haves have to be you've got to initially stop the cross. You've got to add something to defence. He is 2 yards. Him and Maguire, by the way, actually. So watching United's line out of possession and watching what we do. And the difference was there was some point in the first half when Brighton pressed us and there was serious speed. The back line basically sprinted to compress the pitch. It moved the midfield forward and then compressed United into our own half. And the back line literally ran towards the halfway line. And I remember literally turning to Ronaldo and going, that was fucking good. You see that? And then you watch for the same from United. And quite often you see Bruno waving his arms around, trying to say, Jesus, get forward. And quite often you see Lindelof waving the rest of the defence forward. What is our captain doing? He's lagging 5 yards behind. And Shaw's 2 yards behind him. And any time there's a flat line, Luke Shaw's 2 yards off it. And any time there's any threat, Maguire's reluctance to move up to the halfway line and Maguire's reluctance to close down because he'll get murdered for pace is causing us problems. And people in the comments here going, give Shaw his credit. Why? Because we kept a clean sheet tonight. It wasn't because of him. He did nothing tonight. You have to accept, or you have to demand more and stop accepting these mediocrely shit performances because there's not technically something that you can obviously point to that is incorrect. Not good enough. Josh says, you're sounding really negative. A win's a win. I'm giving my opinion on the game. That's what you tune in for. It's called post-match reaction. My reaction is, I think we accidentally won the game. I don't think we went out and won the game. People in the comments said about Marcus, I thought Marcus was a downgrade when he came on. I don't know what's up with him. He looks like he's lost pace. He looks like he's lost ability. He just looks lost at the moment. Arman says, can't blame everything that's wrong on individual players, but I'm so sick of watching lazy Luke half jogging and not closing down. It's infuriating. This is what I always hated about Ashley Young, or the defenders of Ashley Young, saying he works hard. I expect working hard to be like, you get up and you brush your teeth in the morning. I don't come in work in the morning and go, hey, brush my teeth today. Everyone stand up, give me a round of applause. Yeah, you're supposed to. Like, playing for Manchester United, you're supposed to work hard. It's a given. IQ Insane says, Steve, the whole team has been performing bad for months. Big clear out needed in the summer. We're going to do a video a little bit, probably at the back end of this week sometime. And I started going through the players. I think there's 13, 14 players that need to go. I think 4 of these probably won't be able to be sold because of circumstances. But 10 of them need to go. Happy says, much respect, bro. Your mental health is getting better. Quick question. Are the fans ruining the whole vibe? The whole vibe of who? United? I don't think so. The fans and the players feed off themselves. If we walk in today saying everything's great, well, you're just wrong, aren't you? Because it isn't great. So it's not about are the fans ruining it. It's provably not fantastic, is it? Jacob says, on Welbeck's free header, it looked like Maguire was marking nothing. Am I missing something? Seemed like it should have been a goal. Let me have a look back at that. Would I pick Shaw and Maguire for Paddock? In all seriousness, they'd probably look sensational at our level. But the fact that you're even asking that question just takes the piss, doesn't it? They do stuff that I would shout at my players for, which, again, ridiculous. On a positive note, McTominay is improving this season. He's doing the 6 role well, says CTB. Again, I disagree. I didn't think he was great today. Josh says, don't like the crowd getting on Rashford's back all the time. I didn't see that, to be honest. Arsenal's game in hand includes Liverpool and Chelsea. That's interesting. Leeds away, good game. Hopefully get the goals flowing, says Undiscovered Genius. Yeah, I agree. How was Pogba when he came on, says Andrew? Pretty solid. I wouldn't say spectacular, but pretty solid. There was a bit of a brightness and a bit more creativity, it felt like, once he came on, but that could have just coincided with them being down to 10 men. The Trap Chatterbox says, never like you, Steve. Well, I don't fucking like you either. Fuck off. Don't ask you to watch. Ross says, how bad was Bruno's 4-yard miss? Which one? I think maybe from where I was sat, it didn't look that bad. Is Garner at 8 or a 6? He's been playing almost 8 and 10 this season for Forest. I think he's more of an 8 really long term, but he can definitely play as a 6. Anve says, I'm enjoying Paddock games more than United. It's going right down to the wire for us. We might miss out on the league on goal difference unless someone drops points. It's one of those, isn't it? Spurs will drop points against City. Possibly, yes. Atmosphere a bit weird tonight. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit... wasn't the usual crowd that was in there around us tonight. Is Ethan Laird a viable upgrade over Delo if he can stay fit? If he can stay fit, I think so, yeah. Notch says there's still zero movement around Sancho when he attacks fullbacks. I agree. I definitely agree on that. It seemed like there was a little bit more movement in the first half than in the second. Has RH ever coached Elanga? I think he did, actually, or does. Let's say did. Ross Murphy, felt like the atmosphere was nervous. They seemed like another draw or loss. Well, you got to expect that, haven't you, really? Because I think we were all kind of expecting that in a way. Going into the game, there was a little bit of dark humour about, like, this could be fucking rough, this, you know. March fixtures look scary, says Callum. Completely agree with you, mate. Absolutely. Lamptey's a player I think we should go and get, says Tom. Unfortunately, I think he's probably almost too established a little bit now. Does that make sense? Even though he's still extremely new. I don't know. How loud were the boos? At half-time, they were pretty loud. I still don't really get it, man, but, you know, they were pretty loud. How do I see the Atletico game going? We will be talking about that towards the back end of this week, don't you worry. It could go badly for us. Andrew says, I think United will start clicking soon. Couple more chances buried in the last few games. I think we'd be on the up. I mean, yeah, results-wise they are, and performances are tangibly improving. I thought we still looked pretty dysfunctional in midfield, and I think that's the big one that's worrying me a little bit, I think, at the moment. Lamptey had Luke Shaw on buttered toast. Of course he did. I think Luke Shaw's understanding of defending is rudimentary at best. Lee Townsend says, Atletico have been awful. It's a good draw. Think about what Burnley did to us. Now, a team that's better than Burnley doing it are going to really struggle for us. Is McTominay any good at centre-back? Not sure. Why do we play a rigid 4-3-3 against a 3-at-the-back system? Well, they played a back 4, so don't know what you're on about. Red card helped us tonight. It did, actually. Although the last few minutes, it felt like we were hanging on a little bit. Do I think Ronaldo will make any significant changes? Way too early to say. I hope so. I'm sure he's his own man, but I hope so. Alex says, Rashford's off-the-ball intelligence is by far his worst attribute as a coach. He does stuff that I correct at under 14s. I actually can't agree with you on that. I don't think the TV shows exactly what he's doing, but I think his off-the-ball movement for running is probably some of the best in our team because no one does it enough, Cavani aside. The off-the-ball movement's shit from us. What do I think about Elanga, future star or just a pace merchant? I think he's got to add some stuff to his game. I think he's coming through a little bit at the moment on the back of he had a great pre-season, he worked, and he's got himself into a decent position. He's playing on fire at the moment, but I'm not sure once he settles into the team has he got everything that you need. Defensively, defensively is different. You know, there's two sides to off the ball, isn't there? Any views on John Murta? Only heard a few things from players that when he was in charge of the academy. I don't know what he's doing in this current role. Leon says, I think Scotty isn't actually the worst as a 6. We should sign another DM until there's 100 guarantee world-class player. I can't think of any right now. I've got a list of players which we'll be talking about later in the week. I haven't fully decided on the striker that I could see coming in, but I've got all of the other positions, and I think we need to sign 5 first-team players. I don't think we will, but I think that's what we need. Inuk says Lindelof not good enough for Man U. I thought he was the best of the 2 centre-halves tonight. How poor was Fred? Yeah, again, here's the thing, right? Because Fred out of possession does quite well. As soon as he gets on the ball, he just doesn't have any quality at all. We need to sign about 10, says Michael. Possibly. Who do I think is the mole at Manchester United? I've already said. Pogba playing like he gives bollocks since he returned. No, Pogba's playing like he's got a contract to be signing in 6 months. Don't fall for it. Why is Shaw reluctant to overlap? He always cuts inside, never offers any width. I don't understand Luke Shaw. I'll just leave it at that. What happens when we buy a DM and we're still having problems? We will still have problems. Hang on. McFred are being unfairly scapegoated. The problems run deeper. No, the problems do run deeper, but they're also shit. Or maybe not shit. They should be squad players and we should upgrade them. And that's fairer. Because you can't buy one player and solve all your problems. I think you've got to change quite a lot. I think you've got to change quite a lot. Kimmich the best CDM in Europe. We should settle for nothing but the best. I think, me and Ronnie was talking about this at the game. I think there's really something in what Ralph was saying about buying players in their first or second contract. You buy players in their first or second contract and they don't feel like they've arrived yet. They're still looking to prove stuff. And when you look at Manchester United's best signings, Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Jaap Stam, Rio, Vidic and Evra, none of these have had that big club trapping 3-4 contracts deep. And when you look at some of the players that we've signed and they've flopped, Varane, Di Maria, Schweinsteiger, Sanchez, and you might even argue Ronaldo at the moment, they haven't necessarily worked. One sec. Wayne saying Varane didn't flop. I didn't say he didn't. Well, if I said flop, I didn't mean flop. But those that have not quite lived up to the expectations, and Varane was absolutely one of those. No two ways around it. Connor says Ronaldo was on his second contract when he came, and that went all right. Yeah, it went all right, didn't it? The only change will actually sort this club is new owners for me, says Dale. I totally agree on that front, in all honesty with you, mate. Opinion on the political situation with Ukraine and Russia. We'll probably do another late night live either tomorrow or Thursday. And we'll get into that, I reckon. Kamara and Kessie both free agents in the summer. Which one would I pick? I'd take either. I'll let you pick first and I'll take the second one. Amrit says Ronaldo flop, out of your mind. I mean, there's certainly people talking about him right now as a bad signing. I don't mean when he first came. Where was Eddie tonight? I don't know. And it's not good enough, is it, the way he's just completely fucking tossed it off. Pinch says we need some shrewd transfers this summer. I completely agree. How many bad eggs in this dressing room, says MK Dizzle. What am I hearing? I'm hearing that there's some truth to the unhappiness. And it's more serious and more real than we thought. And there's other stuff that I really don't like the idea of as well. And I can't put it out there because it's obvious where it come from. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't like the idea of. That's more fundamental when it comes to like player development, coaching, player liaison type stuff that you just assumed would happen and fucking doesn't happen. And that's honestly sickening. Seamus, what did I make of Basuma tonight? Thought he was sloppy myself, but still better than McFred. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he looks strong. He looks combative, which you don't really get from him. I think positionally, he invariably seems to hold a real strong position, almost Makelele-ish in terms of where he sort of commands that position. A couple of Makelele fouls that he threw in the mixer as well there, which is intelligent, and we don't have anyone that does that. I would absolutely be taking Basuma, to be honest with you. Great to see you, says Vandy. Great to see you. Abhishek says Henderson is not the mole. Oh, and you fucking know that, do you? I think what he was referring to on his Instagram was there was people connecting him to a Premier League player that had been arrested in midweek. That's what he was commenting on. David Wilton says I can name 19 players that could, should, / will leave in the summer, but because the board will get excited, we have Champions League football, we decided not to splash the cash. You might be right. What do I think of Nkunku? He's a little on the small side, isn't he? But that might be a positive to him. I don't know. Did I hear the fans boo Maguire at the intros? No, I didn't. I didn't hear that. Could we buy De Ligt? Probably not at the moment, no. Isn't it another one under Raiola as well, or did I just imagine that? Amrit says good players can't be happy in a bad phase. It's silly people are talking about happiness inside the club. No, I think it's more of the attitude towards people. Like there's not a collective pushing, and there is a little bit of cliques forming inside the club, which isn't good. We can't do business with Raiola, says Kassam. I think you're going to have to at some point, unfortunately. I don't think you can blackball him and just fucking cut him out. I think he holds too many cards. And if one of them's... So, to sort of fill you in on a video I'm doing later on in the week, one of the players, I think United have this burning desire to make mad signings. And I think Haaland is actually possible for United. And as much as he would probably... he's got this release clause which makes it affordable. But you're probably going to get 3 seasons out of him and then he's going to get launched. But he could come in and be the big name signing, and then you could pick up some smart buys. Kamara, Tielemans, Selic. Do you know what I mean? Like picking up good little buys. Players that can come in and tangibly improve what we're trying to do. And actually, someone like a Kanji, that might be a big money signing. You're not going to get 2 players out of Dortmund in one window, I don't think. Jordan says, get Rudiger and buy De Ligt for some cash. You're not going to get any cash from Maguire. Thoughts on Darwin Núñez? I'm not sure how those goals translate. Stuart says, if you're ever back in Perth, I'd like to have you as a guest at my brewery. Wow. Cheers. I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I don't think I'm coming back to Perth. Nothing against it. I thought it was a perfectly sound place when we went. Although I did find at what time your nightclub shut a little bit disconcerting. A little bit like rural England, that, to be honest. Like midnight. Everyone's fucking gonzos. But I don't envisage a reason. There's so much of the world I want to see. I've done Perth, and I don't necessarily feel the need to rush back and go and see it again. Isaac looks like a decent option. Definitely going to be a decent option. Maguire would be perfect at Newcastle, says Samuel. I would definitely be trying to hawk his ass to Newcastle for sure. Ross says, I'd love Kimpembe. Again, I think he's another one that is on the opposite side of the career where you want to be bringing in. Would I sound Bowen as a squad player? He's probably better than a squad player. Looking forward to the rundown on Friday, says Dale. Well, it's on Saturday, for starters. So don't wait up for it on Friday because it's on Saturday. Unless Sancho sweet talks Haaland, I have no confidence in that deal. I think you can definitely get him because you pay the piper, you get the prize. That's how it works with Raiola. At least there's honesty in that front with him. You pay the money, you get the player. Every time. And that's the good and bad thing about him. Because he'll also be like, as soon as someone offers me something, he'll be out the door and leaving you as well. I'm being harsh to Fred. He completed 100% of his passes to Brighton. Unless Sancho and Rangnick sweet talk Haaland. Yeah, Haaland's got a relationship already with Rangnick, hasn't he? Saturday, my bad. Yeah, so it's going to be Saturday. If you want to support the channel, you want to get some extra content. And honestly, if you if you want the extra content that's not United in the slightest, it's going to be a complete different thing. The last couple of rundowns that we've done since we've started doing them in the bar. If you remember when we used to do them on my channel during lockdown, we used to just do a quiz and get absolutely blottoed. It's the same, but we do it in our run bar now. And we have the pole sleuths joining us. And we get on the smash with you guys at home. And we want to try and get some more of you guys involved. So if you can think of some ways that you lot would be able to contribute, we will do it. And we'll find a way to do it. But if you'd like to support the channel and you'd like to get extra content that just doesn't see the light of day outside of the Patreon group, there's people talking about it in the comments already, then come and get in the mixer. I got myself a new Diplomatico ready for it, so I'll be on Diplomatico on Saturday night. And I'll be in fucking shit state for the Leeds game on Sunday. Paddock have got a quarter-final of the Rhodes Cup as well on Saturday, so it could be a heavy weekend if everything goes to plan. Kassam says, what do I make of Ronaldo making runs but still not getting any service? The midfield isn't good enough to do it. Ben says there's got to be an app where we can play along with the quiz somewhere. I don't know if there's a way for, yeah, maybe. I'll maybe look into it. Akbar says, give me Haaland and Tuchumemi all day, but knowing this club, it'll be Poch, Kane and Rice. Fucking hell, the accuracy in that. And on that note, right, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back with 5 things tomorrow and XG files. I've been doing a Q&A over on my Instagram. I'm going to continue that through till tomorrow as well. So if you want to go and check it out, Mr. Stephen Howson on Instagram, get involved. You want to ask us any questions, and we'll throw them in the mixer on that one. Nice one. See you in a bit.